Welcome back to the channel and to this episode of Star Watch, which is a weekly astrological transit report. For those of you who are new, my name is Jane. So let's go ahead and dive into the astrology starting for Wednesday, April 12th. Let's take a look at what this week is going to bring, because this is one of the biggest weeks of April as we are building to stuff, all right? The big events are going to happen. We've got the eclipse next Wednesday, then we have the Mercury retrograde going on the 21st, so we will talk more about both of those next week. But this is the build-up week, and often I feel that the build-up energy has a lot of information that can be quite useful. So first and foremost, next Wednesday, we have the new moon total solar eclipse happening at the 29th degree of Aries, okay? I said Wednesday, it may be Thursday, depending on your time zone, okay? The 19th or the 20th. So right now the moon is sitting in Capricorn, and as the moon goes through the next few zodiac signs, right, finishes Capricorn, comes through Aquarius, then through Pisces, and then on in through Aries, you can see that the moon's path is going to cross all of these bigger planets, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, and Jupiter, and then it's going to come and do that final connection with the sun. Now, these conjunctions are not that special. They happen every month. Moon moves very quickly, so conjunctions with the moon are common. But what makes these so unique right now is because it's building into the eclipse cycle, all right? So these conjunctions are going to be a little bit more potent and more powerful this week. Because these are the outer planets, like literally all the outer planets with the exception of Uranus is going to be involved here. There's a lot of fluctuation. Plus, we have Mercury slowing way down. Here's Mercury right here, okay? And he's building up to his retrograde. He officially stops at 15 degrees, which is really close to Uranus. So he's only got a few more degrees to go, but Uranus is already at play, like today. So the Uranian influence is going to be more impacting the mercurial qualities of your life, which is basically almost every aspect of life. And then we have strong emotional and strong kind of fluctuations within our physical vessels as well, like our bodies, okay? So as the moon comes into Aquarius, it will conjunct Pluto, then Saturn, then Neptune. So this is going to be a week to really honor what your body is telling you, because there's going to be probably some stuff that surfaces. Now, the point of the stuff that's surfacing is not to make your life worse. Oh my gosh, I have this trauma, I have this wound. It's not just to like feel the wounding or to feel the insecurity or whatever. The point of the stuff surfacing this week is so that when we do hit that eclipse on Wednesday, we can feel prepared and ready to do something about it. This is not an idle time, and I don't think people should be sitting idle. I think there should be, unless your own individual circumstances demand that, but I think generally speaking, if you are healthy, if your life is put together to a certain degree, and there are things that keep creeping up for you and you're getting tired of those things continually creeping up, this is a time where you say, you know what, I'm going to finally do something about this once and for all. I'm not going to let this continue to be a problem in my life. I feel a lot of hemming and hawing this week. Like the moon coming into a conjunction with Pluto can be, pretty positive. You can find that will within you. But then a couple days later, when the moon comes into Pisces, you can also lose that will. And you can feel like, oh my gosh, I'm too tired. I don't really want to. I'm feeling blocked. I'd really rather just watch a good show or read a good book or take a hot bath or something. And then we get back into Aries and it's like, okay, now I'm back again. So there will be a little bit of quite a bit of fluctuation here. But honoring your body and allowing for that fluctuation can be important, because if you are surrendered to the messages that your body is delivering to you, you might be receptive to other things, okay? One of the things I've been saying about this Mercury conjunct Uranus situation is that Uranus absolutely offers a degree of brilliance or genius, innovation, and invention. These were the words that I was using a lot. And I think these words are important. Yes, Uranus creates chaos and disruption, but sometimes it comes in the form of a brilliant idea. It comes in the form of seeing a way, seeing a path, seeing, something from a really high level perspective. And what's beautiful about seeing things from a higher level perspective is that we see possibility with that. We understand, when we're up here, that we can see much more of the playing field. We're not trapped in our lower mind and in our lower perspective, only able to see what's immediately available to us. So receptivity during this time can be so helpful. This is not a time to be all in your ego and to think you know everything. And some people might be doing that because they're feeling the intensity of that Aryan eclipse and they're like, oops, sorry, my cat's making some noise. And they're wanting to be in that sense of self. And they want to push that sense of self out into the world because it gives them some semblance of control. Okay? However, the real wise people, the truly wise individuals out there are going to kind of soften. And because this is a new moon eclipse, all right? It's a little different than a full moon. So even though it's an eclipse, it's still a new moon. And we often have some alignment that goes on during this time. And if we allow that alignment to occur, maybe, just maybe, we might get that brilliant idea or that stroke of creative genius that just might be the ticket that we've been looking for. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that all the answers to all your problems are going to be answered, but there's a possibility that your mind is going to be working differently than it normally works right now. And that can be a good thing. There could be a challenge to it. And it can kind of help with some little rewiring that we need to have going on in there. Okay, that's always helpful. It's hard to do on your own. It's hard to do through the sheer force of will to rewire your brain, right? But Uranus and Mercury, really intellectual planets coming together, helping with that. But sometimes when you start thinking about things differently or you start seeing things differently, your world can get disrupted as well. So yes, disruption is certainly on the docket, but it's in a good way. Certainly in a good way. We also have Venus coming into Gemini as well. She's already come in. She came in on the 11th. She came in yesterday. And she's allowing for movement. And one thing I love about mutable sign activation like this, and of course we have Pisces activation as well, specifically with Saturn in here, is there is that willingness to make transitions. There's that willingness to allow yourself to be carried over into a new way of life or into a new environment, into a new mindset, whatever the case may be. There's also, an openness for collaboration, an openness to other people's ideas, right? Strong receptivity with Venus. And this is all around. So it's not just you, a lot of people are going to be feeling this. A lot of people want to hear what other people think. A lot of people want to collaborate and hear other people's creative ideas. And with those collaborations, maybe it's another person that delivers that brilliant idea. Okay, because Gemini is activated, we can't leave out siblings as well. So if you have positive relationships with your siblings, there could be something wonderful that channels through them too. And you might be able to do that for them as well. We also have Saturn in this sextile here with the North Node. Now, this is not particularly new, but I don't know that I've talked about it too much. It's in a sextile with the North Node and in a trine with the South Node. So what this enables us to do is to apply, I get a sense that a lot of people can tell that these nodes are about to change. Now, they officially change in July, so we still have a few more months left. But we are coming to the end of this end of this nodal cycle. And there seems to be a sense of, I don't want to say urgency, but maybe that's the right word for some of you, but there is this sense of like, I got to do this now. I have to figure this out now. I have to set this structure up. I have to get this foundation laid. I have to do this now. And you might not be able to really explain that sense of urgency, but I think it's because you can tell that these nodes are transitioning and they're coming to the end of this Taurus-Scorpio transit, which, may have created a lot of focus on your material world, on your money, your spouse's money, if you have a spouse. Yes, there certainly was a lot of accentuation of our fears, also our sense of self-worth. And if we had to work on either one of those, or maybe both of those, we had the opportunity to do so. But Saturn is like, I don't want to be doing the deep, dark work right now. I want to be doing the real world work right now. I want to make sure that I don't let my fear continue to hold me back. And I want to be sure that I do what I need to do to really attain this material goal of mine. So I do suspect that this is the week that a lot of people make strong commitments with themselves to say, I need to make this change because I know that this change is going to get me closer to my desired life, okay? This is going to be not only a moment of that commitment in the mind, but you're going to be committing with your actions as well. There is so much behavior stuff that's going on here. This is one thing I love about these lower zodiac signs: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and also, Leo and Virgo too, but really it's like the first 4 zodiac signs. There is a lot of behavioral stuff that goes on where we have the desire to actually do the things. It's not cerebral. It's not philosophical. It's not reliant upon anyone else. It's not anything. It's all about us and what we have control over and what we are doing and thinking and feeling. And this is a great time to really discover what you are capable of as an individual. And it's just a heightened time. So this is a time to do it and to prove to yourself that you can, and to prove to yourself that you actually want to. Sometimes we tell ourselves we want something, but it's like all evidence to the contrary, Like, let's say you have a career goal, but your physical health may be holding you back. Well, this may be a time where you say, I am so determined with my career stuff, but I have this obstacle, so now I need to deal with the obstacle. And to really take that seriously and say, I need to address this health stuff because I'm going to need my health in order to accomplish this other thing. So pay attention to where your blocks are, because that might be an easier route, right? To go to where your blocks are, rectify those things as much as you can, and then get to where you want to be through that. Because if you keep trying to go straight to where you want to be, but you still have this block, you're just going to keep hitting the block. So that's where the determination is. That's why it's like, I'm going to do whatever, and I'm going to change my behavior so that I can actually attain my goal. So focusing on how the physical vessel, right? This is Aries. This is the reason why I'm saying all this, is because it's Aries, and Aries rules the physical body, and the moon does traditionally as well rule the physical vessel. And then we have the extraordinarily high consciousness of the soul with the sun. So when there's an alignment here, sun, moon, earth, which is what an eclipse is, when we have this alignment, there is an internal alignment that becomes possible as well. And I know a lot of people talk about eclipses like they're big, scary events. A lot of the trendy astrology people do that. But I think if, you're a true student of astrology, you may understand why there's a lot of scary stuff around eclipses, but also you understand them as powerful times of alignment And because of that, they can be useful. Because of that, they can get us to modify and to permanently change things. This is about permanent, long-lasting, sustainable change that is in our best interest. It's not just like changing and then going back again later on. This is a commitment that you can make with yourself for the sake of your future, okay? And there's a lot of future focus when we have North Node involvement, which is what this new moon eclipse is doing. It's with the North Node up here. So we're looking toward the future. We're looking toward where we're going and making choices and executing on those choices to get us there. And Mars down here in Cancer, let's not forget how determined he can be. Yes, I know he's in his fall position, but he's still in a cardinal sign. And traditionally, in traditional astrology, actually, Mars can do okay in Cancer, okay, because it's a nocturnal sign, and there is a water sign can kind of cool down the heat of Mars. And when he is cooled down a little bit, he can be more intentional, with more direction, and with less impulsiveness. So there's a control, like a controlled Mars right now. Back when Mars was in Gemini, August through March, there wasn't a lot of control. And I think if you were really honest with yourself, you'd be like, yeah, there was a lot going on. There's a lot of movement, a lot of transitions, and yeah, maybe I didn't really have a lot of control, but now the environment is quite different. There is a lot of control, and Mars may be a little bit slower, but he knows where he's going and he knows exactly what to do to get there, and he will do that. Okay? So it is a big week. Plan accordingly. Expect the unexpected. Don't be surprised. You can roll with the punches. There is a lot of transitory energy, so allow yourself to transition, and it should be pretty good. Okay? Thank you so much, you guys. I love you. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.